Welcome back. The biggest issue facing the nation is the performance of the economy, especially the stubbornly high unemployment rate. And add to that the energy situation that is so unpredictable, and there is lack of policy clarity on the matter, and costs are escalating. I'm joined by Lara Hodes, who's economist with Investec, and she's here to talk to us about the state we are in. Lara, pleasure to have you with us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, the unemployment rate, which is something that's been spoken about so many times over so many years.
Yes.
It is very high.
Yes. And
for a democratic and a developing nation such as ours.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the domestic economy is very fragile at the moment. We're expecting growth of less than 0.5% this year, and likely less than 1% for 2020. Which is obviously not conducive to job creation. So unemployment rose from the second quarter to 29%. It's now sitting at 29.1%, which is at historically high levels, the highest in well over a decade. And the expanded rate of unemployment is actually a lot higher than that, sitting at over 38%. And youth unemployment is the critical issue. That's sitting over 58% and is a key priority area for government at this time. So unfortunately, various reforms can be put in place to try and increase the number of jobs, to try and create jobs. But unfortunately, without sustainable growth, economic growth, this is going to be difficult to change.
The point or the part that I want to focus on are the parts where we have control.
Yes.
And that have been an issue for quite a while, but have not been dealt with. The Eskom situation is one of those issues, right? What, to your mind, I mean, when you look at what is the impact of the Eskom situation on the economy?
Yes.
And from the economist's point of view, what do you think should be done that's not being done there?
So Eskom heightened rotational load shedding. Electricity supply constraints is a huge issue, specifically for the manufacturing and mining sectors, which are big users of electricity. So it has affected our economy, and it's also led to a decrease in confidence, which is a big issue. So the government, the presidency in his latest SONA address, did put forward some very practical, well-received initiatives around Eskom. He looked at significantly increasing and rapidly increasing the amount of electricity that can be generated outside of Eskom, which was very well received. And hopefully we'll have more details on that in the budget. And of course, ways to deal with Eskom's spiraling debt position. So we're hoping to get more clarity on that in the upcoming budget next week, because that is one of our, major drags on the fiscus is Eskom's position.
But looking at the, what is coming out of government currently, as well as what the Minister of Finance is likely to say next week, where do you see opportunity for growth of the economy?
President Ramaphosa has said he's going to concentrate on high growth areas where there's an opportunity for job creation. So tourism is definitely one of those areas. And I was glad to see they increasing police presence in a lot of the big tourist areas, and because crime's an issue that's detracting people from coming to this country. And also he's definitely going to look at policies
but now, the finance minister, we hope something comes out of his budget speech, but it's going to be very, very constrained, very tight.
Yes.
Actually, he might even impose additional taxes as he looks for opportunities to raise more money for the government. But what else can he do with what he has?
We're hoping he looks at changing the composition of spending to some extent, because at the moment it's just debt relief. And obviously the public sector wage bill is a big issue. And on the revenue side, there definitely will be tax measures, probably the more sin taxes, and people have been talking about another 1% increase in the VAT rate. which, consumers are financially constrained at the moment.
Just a final question to you.
Yes.
Your view of the role that the private sector can
Yes.
play, should be playing in the economy. Because we refer to the government most of the time.
Yes.
But I wonder if there are particular sectors or initiatives that are happening out in the private sector that might help stimulate the economy.
So the president's always spoken about the close relationship between the private sector and government. So that's a priority, is to lift business confidence, to implement reforms that have been mentioned, and then we'll see the private sector, coming to the party and wanting to invest and grow the economy.
Lara Hodes, thank you very much for having been our guest on the show. We appreciate it.
Thanks,
and
Tim.
for also sharing with us your views.
Thank you.
On
Thank
the
you for
performance
having me.
of the economy. Lara Hodes is with Investec. She is economist there. And in a short while, we'll be talking about entrepreneurship in the townships.